This is where the Bhagavad Gita becomes deeply personal for someone with PCOS. In chapter 1 to 5, the focus was on understanding, action, knowledge, and peace. But chapter 6 asks a question that many women with PCOS silently struggle with. What do I do with my mind? Because sometimes the biggest challenge isn't the irregular periods, it isn't the insulin resistance, it isn't the weight gain, it's the constant stream of thoughts. Chapter 6 Through the Eyes of a Girl with PCOS. Imagine a girl who has already come a long way. She has learned about PCOS, started making healthier choices, become more consistent, stop blaming herself. Yet every night her mind keeps talking. One thought becomes another. Why is my cycle still irregular? Will I ever fully heal? Am I doing enough? What if things never improve? Why does someone else get results faster than me? The body is trying to heal, but the mind refuses to rest. The mind, friend or enemy? Krishna says the mind can be your best friend or your greatest enemy. This is incredibly relevant for PCOS. The same mind can say healing takes time, keep going. Or it can say nothing is working, give up. The symptoms may be identical, but the experience becomes completely different depending on which voice you listen to. The comparison trap. Imagine opening social media. You see someone who lost weight quickly, someone who reversed their symptoms, someone claiming a miracle cure. Suddenly, the mind starts racing. Why not me? What am I doing wrong? Maybe I'm failing. Krishna would say, your mind has left the present moment and entered comparison. And comparison rarely brings peace. The restless mind. Arjuna tells Krishna, the mind is harder to control than the wind. A girl with PCOS might say, I know what I should do. I just can't stop worrying. And Krishna's answer remains the same. He doesn't say stop thinking. He says practice returning. Returning again and again. This is perhaps the most healing lesson in chapter 6. The mind wanders, you bring it back. The mind worries, you bring it back. The mind predicts disaster, you bring it back. Not with force, not with anger, not with self criticism, just gently, again and again and again. The lamp in a windless room. Imagine your mind as a flame. Every fear is a gust of wind. Every comparison is a gust of wind. Every symptom is a gust of wind. The flame flickers. But Krishna isn't asking you to eliminate every wind. He's teaching you how to protect the flame through better sleep, quiet moments, prayer, meditation, journaling, mindful breathing, trust. The goal isn't a perfectly silent mind. The goal is a steadier one. Balance, not extremes. Chapter 6 contains a surprisingly modern teaching. Krishna says, not too much, not too little. Not too much food, not too little food. Not too much sleep, not too little sleep. For PCOS, this is a powerful reminder. Many women swing between extremes strict dieting, then binge eating, intense workouts, then burnout, obsessive tracking, then giving up. Krishna's path is balance, consistency over intensity. What if I fail? This is Arjuna's next question, and perhaps one of the biggest fears in a PCOS journey. What if I try everything and still don't get the results I want? Krishna's answer is deeply comforting. No sincere effort is ever lost. Think about that. Every healthy meal, every walk, every good night's sleep, every stress management habit, every act of self care. Even if the results are not immediately visible, the effort is not wasted. If Krishna was speaking to a girl with PCOS, chapter 6 might sound like this. Your body is not asking for perfection. Your body is asking for patience. Your mind will worry. Your mind will compare. Your mind will become discouraged. That is what minds do. Do not fight every thought. Simply return. Return to your routine. Return to your breath. Return to your trust. Return to the present moment again and again. Chapter 6. My mind does not have to control my journey. And perhaps the most comforting message of chapter 6 is this. A wandering mind does not mean you're failing. A difficult day does not mean you're failing. A setback does not mean you are failing. The practice is simply to return with patience, compassion, and trust. That is meditation, that is healing, and in many ways, that is the heart of chapter 6.